roar from the crowd there at the end of the New Zealand national anthem. And now, Her Majesty. Formalities over. The Deputy High Commissioner of New Zealand, Mr. Farrell, having greeted both sides, and now into this first British Cold Test. As I said, the Kiwis not shown tremendous form to date, but certainly they've been blooding one or two youngsters, and I think we've got a very, very strong outfit here. Very few stronger than that number 3 there. Racing across our screens, Dean Bell, the Wigan centre. Strong tackler, good attacking player, and extremely experienced. With the Great Britain side, a new centre pairing there, Andy Currier and Paul Loughlin. Very big, very strong lads, and plenty of pace on the wings. Forward in the fire, they've got the potential to score. But for me, the key will be in this pack. Can this new pack match the New Zealand side? Hobbs and Skerritt at Bradford Northern will certainly have their work cut out with that back three of Sorensen, Stewart and McGann. I'm surprised to see Kevin Iro on the wing. I'm surprised to see Sherlock at the centre, but it's a strong side. And the referee in the middle there, Greg McCallum, waiting to get the proceedings underway, but the crowds here in the north like to see the traditional haka from the New Zealanders. Like the All Blacks in rugby union, the Kiwis usually don't fail to disappoint the crowd, but it looks as if they may be doing so this afternoon as they change ends. The referee from Sydney, Mr. McCallum, no stranger to British faces. He refereed the 2 test matches against France. He's handled New Zealand before. 4 years in the Sydney first grade. He's used to pressure, this lad. And I think we are going to get the traditional haka. The crowds enjoy this, and it certainly fires up the Kiwis. Certainly gets the Kiwis going. Whether it frightens Great Britain, that remains to be seen, but certainly Great Britain, a very experienced side. Just the 2 new caps, Kelvin Skerritt and Andy Currier, and a good crowd assembled here. And Mike Gregory, new skipper, done well with Warrington this season, led them to the Lancashire Cup triumph, a lad who likes to lead by example. So the Kiwis to kick off with the wind facing them, although it is swirling around here at Old Trafford. It's relented somewhat since the gales overnight. And a good big crowd. I've been speaking to people who've flown in from the Isle of Man, some youngsters from Lichfield here. Good crowd from all over the country. And Peter, I think a much closer game in prospect than some people would have us believe.
Yes, I think the New Zealanders, Ray, have made a slow starting club match and will certainly be fired up for this test match. And there we see Sorensen immediately retaliating against something he didn't like in that first skirmish.
So first scrum here, there's plenty poundage in that Great Britain squad. Hobbs and Skerritt, the 2 props, weigh 16 stone apiece. Well, that looked to be feeding. Good foot across. Well, possibly the Kiwi scrum half, Gary Freeman, couldn't get the ball in for the foot across. Certainly, I was speaking to Tony Gordon, the New Zealand coach, in midweek, and he welcomed the presence of the Australian referee, Greg McCallum. He said his players were more used to Australian referees, although a lot do play in this country. Todd. Kiwis' first attack. Kurt Sorensen, the witness skipper, brought into this side along with Dean Bell. Dwayne Mann, one player I've been very impressed with. 2 tests against Australia in the summer, this number 9. That's a good chip. Well taken. Well taken by Alan Tate. And Goodway, taking it away good, taking it away on the blind side, allowing his pack to have a breather, get themselves sorted out. Hobbs. Great Britain look to have started rather shaky, Peter.
Yes, they're in defensive position though, Ray, and they're not risking throwing the ball too wide at the moment, but they'll have to do it to want to break these New Zealanders down.
And it's Freeman on the ball again. Certainly the Kiwis started better, usually a touring team, have an advantage in the first test. Mann again. That's a penalty, must be. Oh, and this is stupid. It was a penalty, but there's no need for this. Dwayne Mann was fouled in the tackle. Referee Mr. McCallum gave the right decision. And why Kelly Shelford, the Kiwi number 6, decided to take matters into his own hands, I just don't know. This is certainly not what Great Britain want. They want to keep a good, clean, open game. But tempers are high. And I think quite rightly, Mr. McCallum is having a word with the skippers, the 2 loose forwards, Gregory and McGann, and he's sending the pair of them off for 10 minutes to the sin bin. Andy Goodway and Shelford. Well, if I was the coach here, not so much of Great Britain, but certainly of Shelford, I want an explanation from him jumping into the fray. But good decision from Mr. McCallum, Peter.
Yes, he was on the spot there, and Mann, the hooker for New Zealand, was very unlucky there, and Goodway very fortunate because he was bleeding from the nose and the mouth, and Goodway was certainly in error there, going over the top, Ray. High tackle on the head, and very lucky to get 10 minutes.
Certainly passion's high, so it's a kick, then 20 yards out, just to the right of the post, and it's a difficult wind. It's 1 minute it seems to be blowing behind the Kiwis, the next minute it seems to be blowing in their face. It's swirling around here at Old Trafford, and it's quite strong. So, Kurt Sherlock, ex-All Black Rugby Union player, now a dual international, looking for the first points. And he gets them. So 2 points to the Kiwis, 2 points to 0. A lot of pressure on this lad. It's his first full international, Kurt Sherlock. He came on as a substitute against Australia in the summer. But a lot of nerves there, a difficult pressure kick. And 2 points to 0 for the Kiwis. So, Loughlin to kick. To Freeman. Williams. And certainly Great Britain really got to get their act together, got to get themselves sorted out. But it's early days yet. Todd. Just prop forward Brent Todd with the Canberra Raiders side. Had experience with Wakefield Trinity last season. Didn't quite gel there at Trinity. But all of these Kiwis experience in British conditions or Australian conditions. They're used to the pressure of matches like this. That's a good kick. And just look at the Kiwis there. Good defence from New Zealand, Peter, wasn't it, following that ball up?
Following the ball up, Ray, and tackling Britain back in their own 25 area, yes.
And offside. It's funny, Peter, when when the Kiwis were playing at Featherstone, I spoke to the referee, Greg McCallum, and he said there's one thing in England, I'm going to get them back 5 yards. He felt that the British referees didn't keep the two sides apart enough.
No, we've been talking about that in a rugby league seminar this morning. The encroaching by the defensive side that play the balls, it cuts down the space. We don't get open rugby like we want. We can't move the ball fast enough wide outside.
So let's see if Mr. McCallum does just that. I think a sensible ball there to number 8, Kelvin Skerry, just to bring him into the game. It is his first test to Hobbs. First time Britain have been in the Kiwi half. Gregory, but a drop ball. Great Britain looking a little rushed, looking a little frenetic at the moment. Not really settled down. So Gary Freeman to put the ball in. New Zealand ball. McGann. Well, that looks suspiciously high again. But it's still New Zealand in possession. Dwayne Mann to Freeman. Sam Stewart, the number 12, captain of the Newcastle Knights team in Australia. Todd. Well, Kevin Iro, the Wigan centre, shrugged off Martin Offiah, but Offiah's back. A lot of controversy as to why Kevin Iro is on the wing. He's normally a centre. Perhaps picked there by New Zealand coach Tony Gordon to look after Iro. And I think this man already is in the picture, Peter, isn't he? This little scrum half, Gary Freeman.
Very good footballer, Ray. He's elusive. He's playing the ball from acting half-back. He can run with the ball. He can pass it. He can kick. So he's got all the skills for playing a competent game at scrum half.
And I think Great Britain really need a settling down period here. 2 or 3 drives with the pack. Hobbs. That's a good ball. Now then, he's got a fire outside him. Oh, he wants to give him the ball. He's still got it, but it could be too late. It's too late. And that surely should have been a try. The forward there, Kelvin Skerritt, held on too long. I know a fire was being obstructed. It wasn't picked up. And a try begging.
Beautiful pass here with Hobbs. Skerritt makes a break now and he's in 2 minds. Should he give Offiah the ball early and let Offiah make his own way? But Offiah's been interfered with all the way here, eh? So Skerritt has to hold on and now he gets the ball to him. And Offiah now is taken out of the game. A pass here goes astray.
And certainly I think, Peter, Freeman obstructed Offiah there. I'm sure there should have been a penalty for Great Britain.
Exactly, no question about it. The referee was in position to see these.
But it's a scrum down. So, Great Britain chance there to lift the crowd. New Zealand still 2 points to 0. And certainly we can see the New Zealand tactics. Play the game in this Great Britain 25 and stifle them out. Great Britain not won a test series at home against New Zealand since 1965. The Kiwis won the ones in 80 and 85. 85 the draw, that famous Lee Crooks last minute penalty, and of course 1 in 71. Williams. I'm not so happy with this British tackling at the moment, Peter.
At the moment they're going a bit high, Ray, and they're going over the top of the men and not holding on to them and bringing them to the ground. They'll have to improve to stop the Kiwis making headway.
Todd. He's got Iro, he's launched Iro, he's just got Tate to be, Loughlin's going with him, but he's a big lad. To Freeman. Has he done too much? Oh, he's in the touch. And notice Martin Offiah coming across there, but it's this little scrum half again. Gary Freeman, number 7, he scored a hat-trick at Leeds the other week. He's a key figure with the Balmain club.
A brilliant move here when the pass goes again to Bell. Bell gets to Iro. And Iro's passing inside to Freeman. And Freeman, you'll see Freeman, He gets Bell on the inside and goes out to the touchline again. A slight error there on Freeman's part, not aware. And now he can't get down that corner.
So certainly end-to-end rugby here, with New Zealand on top at the moment. Hobbs. Britain needing a settling down period. To Gregory. That's a difficult ball for Mercer to take. And another missed tackle. Certainly the Kiwis being given 10 or 15 yards with these missed tackles. Freeman again. To Stewart. That's a good ball. McGann. Can a fire hold him? He does. But the pressure's on Great Britain. 6-7 yards there from this line. Sherlock to Freeman again. Now, and a fire making sure the dropouts under the post. But certainly this little lad, he's commanding the game at the moment. He's passing the ball out, he's putting the short kicks in, and he's on hand in the support play. Great Britain have got to pick this lad up. So, a dropout under the post from Loughlin, and suddenly the wind, the swirling wind, takes the kick deep to Williams. Again, another player who's seen experience in Sydney. To Mercer. Well, another shoulder tackle there by Courier. I'd much rather see a tackle with the... Well, that's what you get when you try to shoulder tackle to Dwayne Mann. Oh, he's inches short. I like the looks of this hooker. He's a strong lad. The Kiwis, yes, he's given the try, he squeezed it at the corner, no doubt about it. It's a try. James Goulding, the prop forward, he spotted his chance, and really that all came from a couple of missed tackles. The shoulder charge should have told everyone in the British camp that you don't tackle like that. Then it was missed again, and New Zealand are 6 points to nil.
A tight try here given to number 8, and everybody's disputed it by the referee and the touch judge. He struggled through 3 tackles and certainly made a touchdown according to the referee.
I think the interesting thing there, Peter, whose were those boots that were sticking over the touchline? Were they James Goulding's boots, or were they the British defenders' boots?
Well, and the question was getting the ball down before that happened, Ray, and the touch judge gave the decision to the referee.
So, Kurt Sherlock. Difficult kick, out wide here on the touchline, but he was put in the centre for his goal kicking, but not like that. So, 6 points to nil. And that was an interesting try.
The question arises here is when the player is tackled close to the line, at the resulting play of the ball, the dispute arises. Now, following this play of the ball, does he get over, doesn't he? 3 British players there, 3 British players very tight. Here comes the prop forward over. Well, the ball is down, the flag goes, and the touch judge wasn't looking at his feet at that time, Ray.
Well, you can't dispute the scoreline. It's still New Zealand 6, Great Britain 0, and that's what counts in the final analysis. And certainly, once again, it was bad defence. 3 men around to play the ball and left the gap for Goulding. So, what a lift for the New Zealand side. Kevin Iro. A lot of people, including New Zealand coach Tony Gordon himself, had said that the Kiwis were rebuilding after the great sides of the 80s. Well, certainly they look to have fooled 1 or 2 people in England over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Goulding driving in there, and still Great Britain are not putting him down. Straightforward kick. But just look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 Kiwis in our picture, nowhere for Phil Ford to go, straight into the net. These black jerseys are everywhere. We've seen 4 or 5 kicks to this bottom left-hand corner, and 4 or 5 times we've seen Great Britain curtailed here. Gregory, it's a good way. Good defence from New Zealand to Hobbs. And that's better from Gregory. The Great Britain skipper setting the lead there. A good tackle, followed the kick up well. Kelly Shelford.
That's an example, Ray, of what New Zealand are doing and Great Britain aren't. They're moving the ball from a touchline side wide and getting the ball moving very early, and it's paying dividends.
And certainly moving it to Kevin Iroll, putting a lot of pressure on a Fire, aren't they?
Well, he will with the ball running because they'll rely on his strength to get past a Fire.
Oh, good little dummy from Freeman. And it's Sorensen again with Skerrit. Skerrit having a laugh in his first international. Big contrast between these two. Kurt Sorensen, 33 years of age, very, very experienced ex-New Zealand captain. But Kelvin Skerrit not prepared to give any ground in his first test. And referee Greg McCallum just settling both down. And the penalty to Great Britain. I don't think Great Britain really want to get themselves involved in a pack duel. They've got the pace out wide in forward of Fire and tail linking up. I think that's the sort of game they've got to play, Peter, isn't it?
They have. They've got a back row that can run, Ray, and link with the inside backs. So we should be playing the ball wide and not taking these lads on up front.
So, first real attacking position for Great Britain. 6 points to 0 down. Driving in there, Hobbs. It's a good way. Back in contention at international level after a 2-year absence. Oh, that's a good ball. But a good tackle from Mann. Copybook tackle round the ankles to Gregory. Still a strong lad. Lost about 1.5 stone since he came back from Australia. Hume. Oh, good ball to Lachlan. Can he get it away? He does to Ford, and he's in. That was slick passing in a confined space. Good pass out of the tackle from David Hume. Lachlan had the good sense just to transfer the ball, and Phil Ford only scored 1 try this season. He's had injuries, but back there, nicely taken. So 6 points to 4 now for the Kiwis. And Coach Mulreilly loyal to this Bradford Northern wing, and he's rewarded him.
And here we see from Great Britain some intuitive passing of the ball, particularly from Hume, that's under considerable pressure, gets not a good pass but a certain pass out. Loughlin again under pressure, another pass, and Ford takes a remarkable pass and dives at the same time. Smashing try that for Great Britain at the right time.
In fact, it was the height of Ford's jump that really carried him out of the tackle, Peter, wasn't it?
It was. 2 good passes under pressure, Ray, that got the try.
So, very difficult kick for Lachlan. Lachlan chosen ahead of David Hobbs. 41 goals this season, but no, not really judged this win, and it is a difficult wing. So, 6 points to 4 now for New Zealand.
Here you see Hume gets through gets a good pass out there as he's dying in the tackle. Loughlin again throws a high ball and Ford does remarkably well. Acrobatic try.
Shades of the days 70, 80 years ago when that character Billy Batten at Hull used to jump over the full-back's head, Peter, didn't he?
And Eric Batten, his son, did it as well for
same.
Bradford Northern many years later.
So, Great Britain back in this game. Just 20 minutes gone and Great Britain hopefully weathered the storm. Kelvin Skerrit been in sparkling form for Bradford Northern this season. nephew of Trevor Skerritt and a good product from the Oulton Amateurs Club there over in Yorkshire. Hobbs and Great Britain taking a leaf out of the Kiwis. Oh, and that's a good kick. Poor Williams misjudged the ball, but in this wind, Hobbs' powerful kicks there are going to prove invaluable. Neither side has the advantage. It's swirling about here. 1 minute, it's behind the Kiwis, and the next, it's an advantage to Britain. But I think position on the field is all important in this early stage, Peter, isn't it?
It is. When you're playing in your own 25, you're under pressure whether you've got the ball or you haven't, Ray. So you've got to keep the opposition penned down in those 25 areas. Both teams will want to do that.
The Kiwis already beaten Bradford, Castleford, Leeds, and I saw them a good win up in Cumbria at Whitehaven on Tuesday night. Sam Stewart protesting there, all innocence and angel-faced. But it's a scrum down, Great Britain's head and ball. Gregory to feed. Mr. McCallum insisting that both packs parallel to the touchlines. Gregory, good turn by Gregory. Well done, playing the short side. New Zealand defence was grouping on the open side. Britain using Skerritt a lot here, enforcing here at the first receiver. Gregory again. Oh, McGann. To Stewart. Good run from the second row, but one pass too many. And I think one big criticism of the New Zealand side I've seen this season, and as I say, I was chatting to Gary Freeman about it, was the number of times they're passing the ball, Peter, in silly situations. They're doing too much of it. Yes, well, you saw there that Sam Stewart was tackled with his man, went onto his knees, and if he's held in that position, he cannot release the ball, and he did, and has given a simple penalty away, Ray. Yeah. Puts him under considerable pressure again. Certainly after the Castleford game, coach Tony Gordon was shaking his head at the chances they missed. So, Britain again in possession. Skerritt, first receiver, gaining ground. This Great Britain pack now beginning to look more confident, beginning to be more organised. Hume and Gregory getting their act together. That's a good ball. Now then, the crowd roar for a high tackle from Sorensen. Referee, Mr. McCallum, judges that it was at the chest. Platt. Andy Platt been playing in the front row position for Wigan lately. Courier. Huge success, this number 3 in Australia with Balmain on the 6th tackle. Oh, that was a cheeky pass, but what's Hobbs doing? Yes. So, tap on the 25. Kelly Shelford. And he fools everybody, including his own team, and he's away. Well, they're just letting him run. Tate's missed him. Ford's missed him. No, he's got him. Well, 75 yards there from Kelly Shelford, the Auckland captain. And really, that was slack defence from Great Britain. And the Kiwis suddenly back on the attack. Mercer. Another British-based player on the wing at Odsal for Bradford Northern. This number 5 for the Kiwis. Freeman again, continually at first receiver. And then opening the play out. Here's a chance, Sherlock, can he get it away? No, he can't. Here's a chance again, McGann, he's going for the line. He's in. Yes, the dummy once again. Slack tackling, McGann was held up for too long. He gave the dummy, give him a taste of Kiwi. The huge New Zealand crowd hold the banner up. And certainly they're giving Great Britain a taste at the moment. Hugh McGann. 23 tests to his credit. World record holder of test match tries, 6 tries in one game against Papua New Guinea. And setting the lead, setting the example. He certainly should have been stopped. Well, we've criticised the Great Britain tackling, and here they must be at
fault again, because when McGann gets the ball, he's covered. It's two players around him, hanging off him, no way made with a 6'6" fella. Out it goes, and a perfect try.
And again, Peter, I think we can see Tate going high there, not putting the shoulder in at the waist.
And not bringing him down, right? Taking him by the legs and bringing him down short of the line. He let him reach out and crawl over the line, literally.
And he's a tall lad, is Hugh McGann. He's 6'2". He's got that arm reach over the line. So Sherlock again. Not kicking well. No, it'll creep under. But edges out New Zealand, 10 points to 4. 25 minutes gone. And a lot of these fans were expecting a comfortable Great Britain win, but I think they could be in for a surprise.
Here we see McGann looping on the outside. Very good positional play there from Freeman. There's no danger here, but he sells the dummy. There's 3 men. Certainly he should have been stopped by that.
And once again, it was little Freeman who gave the final pass. So Darrell Williams bringing the ball away to Mann, Freeman, Sorensen. Well, we shouldn't have to have 2 half-backs there in Hume and Gregory doing the tackling in midfield. Should be the pack. Freeman again to Dean Bell. That's a good ball to Sherlock. Having a good game, this ex-All Black. Toured with the All Blacks to Argentina in 1985. Laughlin. We've seen very little of the attacking potential of this big lad from St Helens, Paul Laughlin. Good way. Platt. Really, Peter, 1 or 2 of these Great Britain forwards going in ones. There doesn't seem to support there at the moment, is there?
No, and Goodway and Platt are not giant men.
Tate. The crowd roared there when a fire got the ball, but good defence by the Kiwis, by Kevin Iro. Gregory. Gregory again. That's a good kick. Forcing him back, but Mercer will let it go. The wind just carrying it there. Gregory being out injured for a month. Only had 60 minutes play before this test match. Quite a gamble, I think. That's a better tackle from Andy Goodway. Number 11 for Great Britain. Brent Todd. This New Zealand pack quite content to take this ball up, take the game to Great Britain, and behind, when necessary, Freeman pushing it out wide. Goulding having a good game, this prop. 4 caps to his credit. Just 23 years of age, this number 8, the try scorer. And there's Freeman again. That's a good ball to Kevin Iro. Oh, and a dummy. Gregory took it again to Kelly Shelford. He must be in. He is. And once again, it was a dummy. Delight on Kelly Shelford's face. I saw him score 2 tries for Great Britain in 1988 for Auckland. And here he is again. Powerful lad. And the Kiwi fans are delighted. And really, at 14 points to 4, this Great Britain side have got to put some tackling in.
Brilliant play here from one man, Kevin Iro. Freeman gives him the short ball. Watch him sell the dummies now and go on where he had to go on. Sells one there to halfback, and here he does the perfect thing, draws the fullback, and Shelford has no danger. Ford can't get to him. Brilliant play there by Kevin Iro, Ray.
Yes, and good support play from Kelly Shelford. That's where the halfback should be when a break's been made. Get to the middle as fast as possible, support the break. So, an easier kick for Sherlock, but I think we've got an example there of the wind. Very difficult to balance the ball, to keep the ball up. And it's quite funny. Test rugby, everyone writing off these Kiwis, and here they are comfortably in the lead. And further in the lead, another 2 points there. 16 points to 4 for New Zealand, and what an uphill task now for Great Britain. No one could have expected this here at Old Trafford.
A good ball there to Kevin Iro, sells a dummy there to Andy Gregory. He's got Shelford on his right, draws the full-back, the perfect pass, and there's no stopping Shelford, who's charged for the line. He's successful.
And what a problem is Kevin Iro giving Peter. He's coming off that wing as regular as he can, isn't he?
Well, this is his regular game. He does wander into the field and makes him a perfect winger. He can stay out on the wing and do damage, come in field and make headway.
Freeman again evades Courier's tackle, but runs straight into Platt. And a penalty, obstruction against Sorensen, using the hip, pushing Gregory out of the way. Well spotted there by Mr. McCallum. Just signifying what Sorensen was alleged to have done. And a go at goal. Well, one or two of the crowd are booing here and jeering Great Britain for electing to go at goal, but we've only had 32 minutes in this first half. There's plenty of time yet, and 2 points could be vital by the end of the match. But again, not the easiest of kicks on a day like this. But Loughlin, 41 goals, looking for his first success here today. Very powerful lad, 14 stones, can give it a good thwack, and he does. It's there. Well, the jeers of the crowd turn to cheers. It's 2 points, it's 16 points to 6 now for New Zealand, and a little hope for Great Britain. But really, Peter, we want to see these centres and these wings being launched by Great Britain, and we're just not doing it at the moment, are we?
Well, I can't understand the tactics. He's going to have to change his tactics after half-time, it's really, because he's got Goodway, Platt and Gregory, 3 runners in the back row. He's got the backs that haven't had a real running chance yet, and he's not getting the ball out. He's charging at the New Zealanders and taking them on up front row. And I'm afraid if he keeps doing this, we're not going to make headway.
So, Mike Gregory. Goodway again, coming away from the acting half-back position. Clinging for dear life to that ball. Skerritt again. That's 3 tackles gone. 3 drives by the pack. Gregory, little chip, but well covered by Mercer. And I think that's significant there, Gregory having to chip the ball, because there is no way through down the middle, Peter.
That's right. Instead of swinging the ball, let the backs have it for a moment or two and see if they can make headway that way. But that little kick there was literally giving the ball to the New Zealanders.
It's Malcolm Reilly's 13th Test match he's been in charge of. He's had 9 wins and 3 defeats. That's a good kick from Shelford. It's a punishing kick. It's going to be making Alan Tate retrieve that ball behind his own line. And just look at that there again, 4 Kiwis. So Tate makes 5 yards from his line. They're fit, they're eager. Well, Great Britain should be fit enough. They've been down to the Lillishall Sports Centre this week. They've had fitness tests and strict training. Courier. Just 5 minutes left in this first half, and the lost ball, and Great Britain still persisting in these tactics from the pack, driving it in. I think Brent Todd there, the New Zealand number 10, looking for an advantage, but Mr. McCallum saying no. Freeman to Shelford. Just electing to run here at Hume, test his tackling ability. McGann. Sorensen. This is good play from the Kiwis to Sherlock again. Lively centre, this boy, not the biggest of centres. Freeman. Good tackle by Offiah. Iro trying to run through Martin Offiah just once too often, but there's Todd. Well, there's another chance there, but James Goulding just couldn't take the ball. But good play again by these two forwards.
Here as Todd goes through, bursting men off. You showed the strength, and that ball came off the knees of his fellow prop, and Britain in possession.
And here's a chance to kick through for Offiah, but well taken again by Mercer. And he beats the tackle of Tate, and he beats Ford, and he beats Gregory. This is disgraceful tackling, but that is a good tackle. And once again we see Gary Mercer should have been in difficulty, should have had problems, and he comes 25 yards and cruises through 3 tackles. Sorensen. Sherlock. To Freeman. Goulding again, and suddenly this Kiwi pack, it wants the ball, it wants the action. They're running from depth, they're posing the problems. Yes, obstruction. A clever obstruction there against Kevin Beardmore and Andy Platt, allowing that number 1 there, Darryl Williams, to move out wide to get his kick in. Good kick from Loughlin there. Just 2 minutes to go in this first half. 16 points to 6 now to New Zealand, and Great Britain really could do with a try and a goal. Courier. But once again, Peter, running straight into the opposition.
Head on, straight at the... There must be just what I can imagine, setting up a move, Ray, when they get closer to the line.
And that's 2 tackles. 3. And groans from the crowd as they shout, get the ball out. Beardmore. And that's 4 tackles we've wasted in the space of 2 yards. Gregory. And the 6th tackle. To Hobbs. No, straight to Mercer. And really, Peter, a let-off for the Kiwis there. There was neither inventiveness nor craft, was there?
No, I think they were trying to get close to the line to put one of these forward moves on. They never got near enough, Ray, and each man was tackled without doing anything constructive. The backs lined up outside, the crowd yelling for the ball, and, well, perhaps it'd have been better giving the crowd the ball.
And here's the man, Nickel Freeman, to Sam Stewart. Dean Bell. Oh, Kevin Iro couldn't take it. A difficult pass for a big, tall lad like that. He's 6'2", Kevin Iro. He had to bend. It's a slippy ball. But I think that shows the difference between these two sides. New Zealand prepared to gamble, prepared to move the ball out wide. Now, can Great Britain use these 6 tackles? Hume, just 30 seconds to go. Looking for points in this first half. Gregory. To Alan Tate, but he's lost it. Well picked up. By Goodwin. Offiah. No way through. David Hume, that's a good ball to Loughlin. To Courier, but a good tackle. Copybook tackle by Kurt Sherlock, the Kiwi number 4. Gregory. That's a good kick. It's a difficult one for Williams. Offiah's underneath it, but the bounce saves Kiwis. So, at last, Great Britain putting some pressure on there, but it takes a kick from Gregory. And into overtime in this first half. We did have a stoppage for the fight at the beginning, but there's the hooter. No problems for New Zealand, 16 points to 6, and I think a lot to say from Great Britain coach Mal Reilly at half-time.
We'll be back there live for the second half. Now, one or two stories in the football, and Liverpool are losing.
In the forward way, and at stand-off half, he's not making any creative play for the three quarters, and Andy Gregory is not going forward.
The band are still playing, waiting for the teams to come out, really drowning out attempts up here, Peter, aren't they? But certainly, Great Britain got to make better use of this ball. The scrum's 5-3, and they've squandered it all.
They have. They're making too many one-man rushes, Ray, keeping the ball tight in the forwards. No creativity at half-back. Edwards must come on at some time in the second half if we want to make some creative play for the three quarters. Gregory's not going forward. Hume is making no headway, and therefore the three quarters are suffering.
And the Kiwis playing really simple rugby. They're kicking the downfield, they're kicking for position, tackling Great Britain into the 25s and then moving it wide.
And they'll kick it deep this half, Ray, because they've got the wind behind them.
And do you think that we'll see your own lad from Featherstone come on, Paul Newlove?
I don't. I think there's a bigger need for such as Edwards to come on at one of the half-back positions and lead Great Britain from the front by going forward.
So Great Britain need leading from the front. They've got to go forward. And it's new skipper Mike Gregory's task to do that. A good crowd behind him. They gave Gregory a good welcome as a new skipper in the Test arena. But things not just quite come together. But another 40 minutes to go. Great Britain, a very, very fit side. We've heard a lot about the squad system. And we heard a lot about the Kiwi squad in the last 3 weeks. Many experienced observers said that they weren't strong enough, that they lacked one or two great players of the 80s like Lou Luai and Mark Graham. But there's no doubt about it, this is still one great player of the 80s, Gary Freeman, the vice-captain. He weighs only 12 stone, but certainly got a good rugby brain inside him though. He's the man that's making these Kiwis tick. And Hugh McGann, the skipper, looked a little down and out when I've seen him once or twice at some of the games, the club games that haven't gone too well. But an inspiration today and a good try from him. So 40 minutes to go. Great Britain, can they fight back? The two are inside, invariably have the advantage in a first test. They've played together. But one aspect about this Great Britain side that Mal Reilly has kept, and that is this family spirit. Many of these out in Australia in '88. Freeman again, spotting the defence going up quickly. Filled forward, and there once again, Peter, kicking for position, 4 Kiwis there waiting for him.
Yes, this is good play by the Kiwis, but I think that Ford has had several opportunities to put that ball inside to Tate, and Tate might just make some headway.
And I think Skerritt might make more headway, Peter, if he was driving from 2 and 3 out wide instead of first man all the time.
Exactly, should be outside Gregory here and running off him so that he can get his momentum up before he takes the ball.
So, Darryl Williams in possession. Gets it nicely out to Kevin Iro. To Freeman. This is good support play. Oh, he fooled the Great Britain defence there. Gaps. Wide down the middle. Shelford. To Dean Bell. Had a quiet game so far, Dean Bell, this Wigan centre. Sorensen. An experienced New Zealand player, 33 years of age, many caps to his credit, Sam Stewart. And just look at this little Freeman, weaving about, dodging about. No one really picking him up. Shelford. That's a good kick. The pressure's on Ford. He's missed it. And that's offside. No. Referee McCallum adjudging that the ball came off Hugh McGann. Platt. Peter, we're going nowhere, are we? We've used 3 tackles up there. We've neither kicked it or moved the ball out.
No, there certainly doesn't seem to be much of a plan, Ray, and Great Britain have got to get out of their 25 and stay out.
Iro. That's a good tackle. That's more like it from Andy Platt there. And he receives due applause. Mercer. Keeps coming inside, and certainly coach Tony Gordon, he was a wingman in his days with New Zealand in '75, and he's certainly not letting these 2 wings, Iro and Mercer, catch cold. They're coming inside at every opportunity. Iro again, there he is again in the middle. Dummies through Lachlan. To Freeman, to Stewart. That's a bad pass. Straight into touch. Really getting through a lot of work, this lad Kevin Iro. Normally a centre, 15 stone, big and strong, and certainly using his weight in midfield. Mr. McCallum not very happy with that. Great Britain not lacking possession from the scrums. There it is again. A fire. This is better. But Hume coming inside. Good tackling again from the Kiwis. Clever play there from Brent Todd, trying to scoop the ball out of a Fire's hands. Gregory. To Goodway. That's better. Skerrit. Now then, Lachlan. Oh, he just couldn't get the ball to a Fire. He couldn't get it away. But will Great Britain move it now to Gregory? And I think we were saying at half-time that Andy Gregory is better, Peter, when he's running at people, isn't he?
Yes, he's got to take them on, Ray. He's just been stood in the line, passing it out, and that's fatal. Because Andy can take them on, he can make openings. Unless we do that, we are not going to open up these New Zealanders.
So, knock on the 6th tackle, the handover to Mercer again. In fact, it's almost as if these 2 wings are playing centre, Peter.
Well, they're closing in now and following these back rows, and that with the pace that they've got, if they do get these half breaks, they'll make 30, 40 yards, Ray, and it's good policy.
Mann. This hooker, Dwayne Mann, father, toured here in 1971. Shelford, that's a good ball to Sherlock. Freeman, oh, this is good rugby. To Sorensen. Well, it came back. How it did, I don't know, but it came back. Freeman. No, he ran straight into Gregory. Crafty, clever play. I think we've seen that done a few times, Peter, haven't we?
We have, but he's jumped up, Ray, and he's OK. But trying to pinch a penalty like that, it should be talked to by the referee.
Well, he's a crafty player, is this lad. Lachlan to put to touch. And very few survivors from the 85 tour of this Kiwi outfit. Only McGann, Bell, Stewart. 16 points to 6. Great Britain must be scoring shortly.
Well, we've got an opportunity here, Ray, to move the ball midfield, and we're going to take charges again, straight from the penalty.
And here's the second one, Hobbs. At least we're charging better now. We're coming from depth. The crowd getting behind Great Britain now. Gregory looking for the shot, but at last he's beginning to run, this little man. This is the sort of form we need to see from him, not just moving the ball out. Tigerish little customer. Platt. To Beardmore. That's a bad pass. Goodway. And the 6th tackle. Hobbs. Well, It's touch and goal. Be a kick on the 25-yard line. Very good decision there by the touch judge. And the Kiwis just settling it out. And just look at that man, Mercer again. He's there at acting half-back. The wingman. Good run from Sam Stewart. Man. There's a lot of his best work, this number 9, at to play the ball, at the acting half-back. And Freeman again, dummies. And puts the chip kick in. Masterly play. He's directing this game, he's dominating this game. And he's one of the tiniest players on the field. Weighs barely 12 stone. Gregory. To Hume. Looking for a fire. He gets it. This is better. Oh, Alan Tate now then. He can run. He's put his head back. Has he got the legs to go all the way? But that's more what we want to see from Great Britain. Superb cover tackle there from Kevin Iro. And suddenly, the crowd are behind them. To Gregory. It's coming across. Hume. He's got the half gap. Gregory again. But just look who's there. Need I say any more? Number 7, Gary Freeman. And that shows, Peter, just how we can break down this Kiwi defence.
Exactly, we've got the pace outside with Tate coming from full-back, linking brilliantly there. No one got with Tate, unfortunately, or we might have seen a brilliant Great Britain try.
In fact, that's the first time Alan Tate has come into the line.
It is, with any room to move at all.
The Kiwis moving the ball in the 25, the gaps are coming. Back to Dean Bell, this is good rugby again. Good cover tackle there from Andy Goodway. To Sherlock. Straight into Gregory. Freeman looking for the long ball, he finds Shelford. Well, where's the fullback? Well done by Ford. But a penalty. Well, that's the second time we've seen referee Greg McCallum do that. Adjudging that Phil Ford obstructed the Kiwi with his hip. And I would think that this really should be a goal for goal.
A long pass out here to Shelford, who puts a kick in, and the referee judges here an obstruction. Can we see why, really? Fordy comes in, they barge one another. Oh, he's accusing Ford of... Well, he used his hip there to nudge out the New Zealander Shelford.
I think it was a little harsh, Peter, wasn't it?
I think he was. I think both men going for a loose ball, Ray, yes.
But it certainly set up an opportunity for New Zealand as the floodlights come on here at Old Trafford, getting very dark, getting very gloomy. And it's 16 points to 6, even gloomier for Great Britain. Sorensen, good pile-driving run, but he's lost it. Well, I do think the crowd are right there to shout. I thought Kurt Sorensen lost the ball. Little Andy Gregory jumped on it, but referee Mr. McCallum judges there is a knock-on and he's not playing advantage. But a good scrum. Hume. To Tate. Looking for support, but no forwards there, and Tate's lost it. Not having the best of games is Alan Tate. Terry Shelford. To Mann. Good tackle by Paul Loughlin. And a vital one. The gap was there. Mann had seen it. Still pressure from New Zealand. That's a good ball to Shelford. Strong lad to Freeman again. A try here, I'm sure, would sink Great Britain. Great Britain on the rack. Short ball to Todd. Another couple of tackles to go in this sequence. Mr. McCallum telling Great Britain to get back. Freeman, harmless. And the pressure off. That's better, the quick kick out, emulating the witness tactic against Canberra. Andy Goodway to a fire. They're still going, this is good stuff. To Mike Gregory. Oh, he's lost it, but still Hobbs is there. Skerritt. And it's gone. Well, certainly, Peter, every time Great Britain move the ball, they look dangerous.
They do, and if they keep the ball moving, Ray, they're taking risks now, which they've got to do if they want to win the match. They can afford to do it. You may as well lose trying to win the game than just holding out and trying to keep the New Zealanders back.
Because I think there's a difference of a yard of pace between this Kiwi side and Great Britain. I think Britain in the backs are the faster.
They are faster, but they haven't got enough of the ball. And the Kiwis forwards are giving in a little bit now, Ray.
Shelford, this is good to Dwayne Mann. Certainly the gap's coming out. Oh, Mann's going for that corner. He's got the ball out to Mercer. Back to Shelford and to Freeman. That's brilliant rugby. That is rugby of the highest order. And that little scrum half. This must be one of the great Test match performances. The speed of the passing, the precision of it, the closeness of the support play, and those Kiwi supporters, they've not had a lot to cheer about on this 12-match tour so far, but aren't they cheering now? 20 points to 6 for the Kiwis.
Now what's the performance of this hooker? When he gets the ball, Shelford goes there, turns the ball inside. Here comes the hooker now, and watch what he does with the ball. He accelerates very quickly through the British ranks. Handoff. Beats again, Courier. Courier's left for dead. A beautiful pass to the wing. And watch these 2 or 3 little passes here. Very quick, very accurate. And there goes Ray's favourite player of today, Freeman, to go over unopposed. Brilliant try, Ray. Brilliant.
No doubt about it, Peter. Rugby of the highest order. We'll not see many tries better than that this year. Sherlock again. He's had some difficult kicking, this lad. Only got 2 kicks. Really slices it badly again. Puts it across. It's not there. And Great Britain really got to be thankful that these kicks are not going over. 20 points to 6. They're trailing.
Shelford goes across, turns the ball inside. The hooker man coming through brilliantly here. Hands off Gregory. Accelerates away from Courier. This is a hooker, middle of the front row. A beautiful pass to the wingman and a little pass again. And Freeman, where do you want this try putting?
And Shaun Edwards coming on. I think it's about time he came on. And Andy Courier, not had the best of games, being taken off. A lot of talk and discussion as to how Shaun Edwards had been neglected. Let's see if he can revive this British side. So Great Britain with just 24 minutes to go. Can Edwards inject the spirit? Can we see some movement of the ball? But it's the Kiwis who are running well. McGann to Freeman to Sherlock. Oh, this is exhibition rugby. Kevin Iro cuts inside 2 tackles. But a good covering tackle by Goodway, his Wigan teammate. Sherlock. McGann. Gregory looking after him, David Hume covering. And I think Great Britain have got the ball, yes. Hugh McGann's lost it. Hobbs. Goodway. To Edwards, first touch of the ball. Oh, a good pass from Edwards, Hume. To forward, this is better. Good tackle, Edwards again. And that's that sudden injection of pace and craft, isn't it, Peter, that Edwards can bring?
Yes, and changing direction of play, Ray, and getting support players on the run. And here we're on the run again.
Lockley
moving the ball.
to a fire. Oh, he's still going. He's got the full-back to beat. And he's in for a try, he must be. Tate! And how many times do we have to say that every time Great Britain move this ball out, in the likes of Tate, the likes of Ofire, and now Edwards, we do have some pace out there. We can score. And at last a smile on the British fans' faces. What a test match this is becoming. 20 points to 10 in Great Britain. Not out of this yet by any means.
Loughlin here makes a pass to Ofire. When Ofire gets the ball, everybody worries, everybody wonders. He does marvellous here. The lay off him is finding more room. In and out, a little twist here, we'll see. Again, he evades the tackle and a beautiful pass. Takes no danger now to score this try. Very good play there by Ofire.
And Loughlin now needs this goal for Great Britain. Very few easy kicks here at Old Trafford today, and that's one. He's cut it to the left. So 2 points go begging, 20 points to 10 for New Zealand.
A good pass out by Goodway here to Gregory. He puts the ball to Loughlin. Loughlin on the run, beats a man and gets the ball to Ofire. Now Ofire, when he gets the ball, the opposition are worried. They're worrying, they're watching him, they're not taking him out of the game. A good twist and a good pass there to Tate. And an excellent try for Britain to put them back in the game.
And they are back in the game. And when you think, Peter, that Great Britain have won 8 scrums to 3, it just shows you how much we've frittered away possession, doesn't it?
Yes, we haven't made good headway at all. But the injection of Edwards into the game, Ray, which we say, a man going forward, taking them on, opening the ball out, and we've suddenly got a game on his hands again.
10-point gap. Edwards to Platt. Just 20 minutes to go then now in this first test. And the rugby certainly living up to these Anglo-New Zealand clashes. Oh, that's a good kick. And that's the first time we've really seen Great Britain up and at them, as you say, isn't it?
With 3 men following the ball down the field, Ray, and getting there almost at the same time as the ball.
Mercer. And suddenly, Great Britain, there's life. The tackling is now solid, it's sure. And the crowd are behind them. Brent Todd. And Edwards, number 16, the substitute, urging them on. Freeman. But the Kiwis still playing good rugby. McGann, Sherlock, this is beautiful stuff. Mercer. Sherlock. Good support play from these Kiwi backs. Shelford. Good kick. Pushes Great Britain back. Tate's got to come out. He's got to make it play. Good tackle by Freeman. Goodway. Edwards changing direction. David Hobbs there, just to the right of our screen, directing operations, wanting the ball to be pushed out wide. Gregory. Well, I think it should have gone then, Peter.
He should have moved the ball. That's trouble with Gregory. Take him on, move the ball into space, and let's get down this field.
Hobbs. Now, Great Britain up again, forcing Williams to kick back again. New Zealand, of course, quite content to do this, playing for position all the time. They're in the lead, 20 points to 10. Alan Tate, he's got to run this ball. Oh, that's good play. Oh, but what a pass. Well, there must have been 6 knock-ons. And I think Kurt Sorensen smiles to himself there, and certainly these players beginning to get excited, beginning to sense that the next try really could take a tide home. Well, he's given a penalty for pushing. And this could be a vital penalty, because at 20 points to 10, an extra 2 points would take to that magical 12. Great Britain would have to score 3 times. And that was unfortunate for Great Britain there. But Mr. McCallum, very firm, very decisive in all his decisions. And Sherlock still plugging away with these kicks. He's had 6 kicks so far, just 2 successes. Not really been striking the ball well. Let's see what he does this time. No, still as bad, to the right of the post. So Great Britain still in contention, 20 points to 10. "16 minutes left to play. Still plenty of time to win this game, Peter.
Yes, if we can get the ball, put the pressure on them, and we've got to move it wide and get the runners going, Ray, just outside the ruck.
Williams, that's a good tackle. Andy Goodway, done some good cover tackling, done some good movement behind. Shelford. Yes. Touch judge there, I think. Spotted a punch going in. Touch judge, Mr. Goulding. And I think Andy Goodway, yes, he's laughing. He knows what he's done. But really, we can't afford indiscipline like that, Peter, can we? We need the possession, we need the position on the field.
We do. It's all right getting you G'd up and making good, strong tackles, but you've got to keep the arm low in these days, Ray. It's a penalty every time. Good ball here. Stewart gets the ball out. In goes the forward. And Edwards and Goodway late. There you see the arm going high.
And it gives New Zealand the attack again. To Freeman. Sherlock. Freeman again. Freeman, then Shelford. How many times have we seen that this afternoon? These two lads directing operations, and Freeman standing well apart from Shelford. 15 minutes left. The Kiwis in control, but not such control that this match is over. To Bell. Once again, Goodway put a very strong tackling stint in this Wigan Great Britain second row. Freeman. Oh, Mercer was well offside there. Well taken by Tate. Superb jump from this ex-Kelso Rugby Union lad. A fire. Oh, a fire. He's half a chance. He's away. Now then, can we see one of the great tries? Oh, he's beaten Mercer all ends up. That's a try and a half, but there was no need for that silliness from a fire. He's a showman, he's a personality. It was a try fashioned out of nothing. He's one of the great scorers of all time, this lad. That's his 18th try in 11 games this season. He'd 42 years ago, 60 tries last season, and he's pulled Great Britain back into this match. 20 points to 14 for New Zealand. But suddenly this game, this test match is swinging, and it's this man, Sharif Safayed, who's done it. A wonderful run. He made a fool of the fullback, Darryl Williams. He made a fool of Mercer, and then even had the cheek to do a little hitch step. He's a showman, he's an entertainer. But I think Mulreally's heart would have been in his mouth if he dropped that ball over the line. And suddenly, it's the Kiwis in a huddle now. And can Lachlan kick this goal? It's a simple one. It's a good one. It's 2 points. And suddenly, the atmosphere here at Old Trafford, it rises 3 or 4 notches. 20 points to 16 for New Zealand.
What's this for a try? Martin Offiah gets the ball, and a speed man gets the ball. Everybody in the stadium were on the feet. We were on his feet. He's in open space. What's he going to do? He's turning the man inside out, and now he knows he can score the try with that scintillating pace. And he goes there with a fancy jig and dives over the line for a marvellous try for Great Britain, back in the game.
So, 12 minutes to go, and suddenly Kelvin Skerritt needs 4 men to put him down. We've criticised Great Britain heavily in this first half, but now they're playing the proper rugby. 4 points difference. Gregory to Edwards to Goodway, and the message is get it to a fire. Edwards again, and what a difference it's been since this lad came on, Peter.
He's made all the difference, Ray. He's exciting. He's got the other players G'd up. He's got them charging onto balls, and this is the way Great Britain should be playing.
And the 6th tackle. And I think we should be putting the ball down in the corner now, keeping the position. Yes, Edwards is doing just that. And suddenly Williams, the full-back, is having to move. And Ford's got him. The Kiwis now 20 yards from the line. Mercer. And he wants good discipline from Great Britain. Kelly Shelford. That's a good ball to Dean Bell. But a fire has him. Shelford, Iro. What a powerful runner this Wigan lad is. Man, to McGann. Not a good kick. Not a good kick. Straight down the Fire's throat to Tate. Good tackle by Dwayne Mann. Edwards looking to open out the ball again to Hume. Forward. High stepping. Oh, knocked down. Silly pass. No need for it. But Kelly Shelford was nearly in there. Lurking to one side.
40 high step in here, but a bad pass here. Almost an interception by the New Zealand standoff there, Shelford.
And Gregory comes away. But that's a bad loss. And Gregory looks to be in a little difficulty. He gets up rather slowly off the floor. Trouble with that left ankle, I think. But the pace now, fast and furious. The Kiwis just hanging on to this 4 points lead. James Goulding. Well, Gregory looks to be okay. He's into the tackle there. Both Gregorys, Mike the number 13, Andy the number 7. Shelford. Good tackle by Lachlan. And the 6th tackle. Is it worth a drop goal? No. Freeman to Iro. Oh, he's straight through both of them. He's in for the try. He just pushed them away. Straight through 3 tackles. And that's been the tale of the afternoon for Great Britain. Defensive weaknesses, time and time again, have cost them the advantage. So, from New Zealand suddenly being on the rack, they're back in control again. 24 points to 16.
The 6th tackle here. The referee's in it and in the air. Iro gets the ball and he brushes past it. Now look at the Fire here. Look what the Fire playing at. He's just scored a brilliant try and he lets Iro walk right through him to clinch the match, Ray, just about. A good pass here from Freeman. And what's the strength of Iro? Do you want to stop him? Nobody wants to stop this lad. The foot was nearly in touch too. Another inch and he'd have been out of touch.
Yes, a lot of determination there. 8 minutes to go. Kiwi magic on that blanket. And certainly we've seen some Kiwi magic. We've seen a magnificent fight back by Great Britain. But again, defensive blunders on the outside there. And Kelly Shelford deciding he'll take a kick. Just 7 goals on this tour so far. Is an accomplished kicker. Kicked for Auckland. That's a better attempt, but just swings across the face of the post. But really, 24 points to 16 now. It's the Kiwis once again in the driving seat. So, Great Britain, 8 points to score to level matters and 7 minutes to get those 8 points. Dean Bell. To Mercer. Again, good driving by this Mercer. He's only a wingman. And the Kiwi forwards queuing up for the ball. Kurt Sorensen. And really, New Zealand now, Peter, they just got to hold this ball, kick it down to the Great Britain line, haven't they?
And tackle Ray when Great Britain got the ball, yes, because Great Britain have quite a bit to do now. And they've got to get the ball first.
That was a brilliant pass from Shelford to Bell. James Goulding. Good tackle by Edwards. But still going. And he's still running. Well, he loves his rugby, does this James Goulding. Plays with Newcastle. Driving down there like a Sherman tank. 6 minutes to go. New Zealand on the attack again. Shelford. No, that's a bad ball. And Gary Freeman, we can see him there telling Shelford, no need to miss out Kurt Sherlock, the centre. What a fine game this Kiwi front row's had. Goulding, Mann and Todd, they've taken the game to Great Britain. Tate. Good cover tackle by Shelford. Hume. Back to Edwards again. Platt. Gregory, that's a good... Oh, well, it was a good ball to Hume, but it was dropped. Sorensen. To Mercer. Well, it's play on, yes. Sam Stewart. And a good driving run from Stewart. He's got Iro again on the outside. But a big lad to tackle him, Paul Loughlin. But again, New Zealand taking every opportunity, picking up every loose ball. And losing the occasional one, Peter.
Yes, when you get a ball, you're coming on the burst. It's got to be perfect, Ray, to take it on the run. Going through against tacklers.
Goodway. Had a strong game, I think, Andy Goodway.
Andy's been all over the place, tackling, running and trying his best to get Great Britain going, but to no effect today.
Just 4 minutes to go, Great Britain trailing. They've got to get this ball out to the wings. 8 points, seemingly a little bit too big a deficit. Gregory lost it again. Well, Mr. McCallum playing advantage, but you can't have advantage to your own side. Looking for a New Zealander to drop on that ball. And on the far side of the field, Paul Newlove coming on the right wing for the St Rovers for Phil Ford. Making history here today, Newlove, the youngest ever Great Britain Test player at 18 years and 72 days. But it's New Zealand making the records. 24 points to 16 in the lead. Sorensen. Kiwis holding this ball very close now. Sam Stewart. Frustrating this for Great Britain. They can't get the ball. Shelford. He's lost it. Now then, Great Britain, 3 minutes to go. They must score twice. They must get this ball from this scrum. Gregory, now then, Great Britain. Got to go the full length of the field. Nice play. It's a chase. David Hume. Has he got the pace? Has Paul Newlove got the pace? He has, I think. Oh, but good covering by Dean Bell. And once again, it was Shaun Edwards showing us the creative play. But good covering by Dean Bell. He managed to get back. He was beaten for pace, but he kept going up on the inside. And good running there by number 14, Paul Newlove. Great Britain waiting for the hooter. Just a couple of minutes to go now. This will be a wonderful win for these Kiwis. They were written off this week with this test match. Everyone expected Great Britain to be the favourites. But a forward pass. But these Kiwis have come out. They've thrown the gauntlet down. And they've taken the lead. It's been that man there, number 7, man of the match, Gary Freeman. He's been on attack, he's been in defence, he's been kicking, and he's directed the play. Last effort from Great Britain, but surely seconds running out now. Too late. Gregory. Play on, says Mr. McCallum. 1 minute to go. Great Britain needing 8 points, surely beyond them. Edwards to a fire. Desperation pass. And a knock-on. Well, he's giving a forward pass. Didn't look like it, but Mr. McCallum, much nearer than I was, right on the spot. And really, desperation passes there from Great Britain. Freeman taking his time, he knows, seconds ticking away. Well, a roar from the crowd. It's a heel against the head. Gregory, good chip kick to Edwards. Loughlin can't get away from Dean Bell. Had a frustrating afternoon, Paul Loughlin. Not really escaped Bell's clutches. That's a good pass to Hume. But how well this Kiwi three-quarter line has tackled. The two centres especially, Sherlock and Bell. Moving towards injury time now. A touring party always likes to win the first test, and New Zealand have done just that. The pre-test match form was a little shaky, but this is the match they came to Great Britain to win. I think that this performance will send Coach Malreilly back to the drawing board. Edwards. That's a good ball to Loughlin. But that's yet another good tackle from Dean Bell. Gregory. And there it is. There's the hooter. New Zealand have won this game, much against the form, much against expectation. He's remained loyal to the bulk of these players.